Don't you just love those Dana White fight announcements on Instagram when he breaks the news? Because I sure do. And today, he hit us with some major news, some major freaking excitement for UFC 295 and UFC 296. So there's a bit of a twist, because for UFC 295, the co-main, we all thought it was going to be Edwards versus Covington. But it's instead going to be Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. I thought that was going to be at UFC 296. Oh, I said the burp. But I thought that was going to be like a month later. I did not think it was going to be an MSG. That is insane. And then we got Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Instead of being in December, instead of being in November, it's going to be in December. So it looks like John Bones Jones, he got his wish when he said he will not share a card with Colby. Doesn't want to be on the same stage presser as him. He got his wish. Separate event. Wow. Great fights. And then Alejandro Pantoja is making his first title defense against Brandon Royval, the co-main. So not the most exciting news for the men's flyweight division in terms of a title fight. Simply because, I don't know, I feel like it's just going to be too easy for Pantoja. I really don't see Brandon Royval winning. I don't see how he wins. I think Pantoja's just too good. He's on another level right now. I think it's going to be the same fight, but doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to it regardless. I'm excited regardless of what happens. But I was hoping somewhere in these announcements we would hear Pena versus Pennington be announced as a co-main to either 295 or 296. But who knows? There's still time. Maybe, just maybe, they might do 3 title fights in Madison Square Garden or in T-Mobile Arena. So Pena versus Pennington could still happen in either of these cards. But man, Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Let's talk about that fight first and foremost. So we've been waiting for Jiri to come back forever. You know, he's been recovering from that shoulder injury, but now his shoulder is better. It's healed. Sucks that he's not going to be fighting Jamal Hill, but that fight's going to happen way later down the line. So I'm not worried about that. But this fight is equally as exciting. This is going to be Clash of the Titans. You got 2 knockout artists in the light heavyweight division. Jiri Prochazka, who literally has 25 career wins by knockout. How insane is that? And he has, overall more MMA experience than Alex Pereira, but that's nothing new. Everyone has more MMA experience than Alex Pereira. But Alex Pereira, for such a short UFC career, and for such a short MMA career with a very little amount of wins, he's already accomplished so much, Within a year of his UFC career, he's achieved the middleweight title. He ended the reign of Israel Adesanya despite losing his first defense to Israel after that. It doesn't matter. He won the belt. He finished Izzy, and now he's starting a new chapter in the light heavyweight division and has a win over another champ, Jan Blachowicz, former champion, split decision, uneventful fight, but he got it done. He beat him, and now he's earned his way into another title fight for the light heavyweight belt. Imagine if Pereira becomes champion in the same venue twice. Madison Square Garden, where he won the middleweight belt, and a year later, Madison Square Garden again, where he wins the light heavyweight title. That would be insane. I think on paper, matchup-wise, it does favor Pereira because he's a cleaner striker, and he's a dangerous counterpuncher, and he's very good at setting up that left hook. And we know Jiri can be very careless defense-wise. He's there to be hit. He's there to be tagged. And if anyone's going to end the win streak of Jiri, it's this guy, Alex Pereira. And he just beat one common opponent of Glover Teixeira, Jan. I could see a scenario where he avenges his master Glover against Jiri Prochazka, who has a win over Glover Teixeira. But then again, Jiri Prochazka could go out there, do what Jiri does, create chaos, madness in there, overwhelm Alex, and finish Alex. Like this is literally any man's fight. This is a toss-up. Who knows what will happen in this fight? I'm personally rooting for Jiri Prochazka, though, because he's my favorite light heavyweight next to Jamal Hill, and I hated how he lost the belt, when he unfortunately didn't get a chance to defend it, tore his shoulder, had to vacate. So I'm rooting for my guy to get the title back, make things right. But if he doesn't, it is what it is, man. I'll be equally as happy for Alex Pereira to achieve double champ status. That would be insane, but gonna be a great fight nonetheless. I'll get more in depth with this matchup in like a separate video, but now let's move on to some other news. So another fight that I just mentioned, Leon Rocky Edwards, Headshot Dead, Mr. Headshot Dead versus Colby Chaos Covington. Just when it seemed like this fight was never going to get signed, like it was never going to happen, finally, it's announced, finally, we have a date. And I've been looking forward to this matchup forever. And I'm just glad that we have a welterweight title fight. I remember there were these Instagram posts labeling welterweight as welterweights. Like, instead of spelling the word weight, like Weight, it was spelt welter, Wait, because literally the welterweight division has been on hold since March, since Leon Edwards defended his belt, against Kamaru Usman. There's not really been activity. I mean, we had Gilbert Burns fight, twice within a month against Masvidal and Bilal. But since then, there's really been no movement. So I'm glad we got something. I'm glad we're going to get this out of the way. And I guess Bilal Muhammad can fight Kamaru Usman or stop ducking Shavkat. Or maybe he's just going to shelf himself and wait for the winner. But either way, I don't care. Just glad this fight's happening. Going to be an insane fight. And this is a legacy right here for Leon Edwards, because now he has a chance to go through not just beating Kamaru Usman twice, but now beating Colby Covington, when over a year ago, both Usman and Covington were considered as like two of the best welterweights in the world. It was said that if Usman doesn't exist, Colby's the champ. Well, now Usman's not the champ anymore because of Leon, and Colby has a chance to live up to that. But can he go out there and end the win streak of Leon Rocky Edwards? Who knows, man? I think Colby's got a really good chance at beating Leon, though. I think he's got a good chance, but you can never count out Leon Edwards. I picked against him both times with the Usman fights. He proved me wrong twice, so I can't confidently say that Colby's going to beat Leon. Like, I think stylistically, I think Colby is a hard matchup for Leon, with his pace, pressure, and wrestling. That's tough for anyone to go up against. But we've seen, Leon deal with Kamaru Usman twice, and, the second time around when it wasn't in altitude, he did much better dealing with the wrestling. And he's had literally back-to-back wrestling training camps for Kamaru Usman. Now another wrestling training camp for Colby. So his wrestling defense is definitely going to be on point, going into this fight with Colby. However, the differences between Covington and Usman is that Colby Covington, he's more relentless with his takedowns, and he's better at chaining together takedowns than Kamaru Usman. I think his wrestling on a technical level is better than Usman. Usman is mainly strength-based, muscling you around. I think Colby's a better wrestler than Usman, so it will be interesting to see how Leon's able to deal with the wrestling of Colby compared to Kamaru. And also, I think Colby's just more relentless than Usman with his pace and his pressure. And we know Leon Edwards, he is a sniper, He likes to have space to find his openings and to find his targets and all that. But if Colby Covington can just stay on Leon Edwards and smother him with a bunch of offense, constant pressure, and just create chaos, live up to his nickname Chaos, then Leon Edwards could be in for a tough night, dealing with all that pressure and offense combined with that takedown threat. He could really freeze Leon Edwards and have a really good chance at winning and maybe going out there and grinding out a decision. But I think it's also just going to come down to how Covington, shows up. Because Colby Covington, he's on the older side. He's pushing 36, and he hasn't fought in a hot minute. since the Jorge fight, which was like a year and a half ago. So it's been a while, man. So rust could definitely play a factor. And he's fighting Leon at the ripe age of 31 years old. Leon Edwards, Rocky, is in his prime. He's in the prime of his career right now. And he's riding high on confidence, coming off 2 wins over the guy who beat Colby Covington twice. Right now, Leon Edwards has the momentum advantage over Colby. He's been more active. And now we're seeing a Leon Edwards who, yes, like I said, is active now and finally getting the opportunities that he's been longing for. Fighting for the belt, winning the belt. He's already had the experience of defending it once, going 5 rounds. Now he gets to go out there and do it again. We're going to see the best Leon Edwards on December 16th. But will the best Colby show up? He better, because if he doesn't, Leon Edwards is going to have a field day. And it's going to be sad because I want Colby Covington to win. I'm a Colby Covington fan. But he's got to be on point for this fight because on a good night, I think Colby's a bad matchup for Leon Edwards. But we shall see. But it's disappointing, though, that Conor McGregor is not fighting this year. That means no McGregor versus Chandler at all. So what does that mean? Are they going to fight in 2024? Or is Michael Chandler just going to get sick of waiting and just fight someone else? That sucks, though. Not only does it suck, though, for the fans who've been waiting for this and waiting to see Conor back, it sucks for Chandler, who's been on ice waiting for this fight to be announced. It's almost like he did tough with Conor for nothing. But who knows? They could be saving Conor for UFC 300, which actually would be really smart. And it could be a big payday for Chandler nonetheless. But with that being said, I'm looking forward to all of these fights, man. 2023 is not over yet. It's been a chaotic year, and these next few fights are going to be barn burners. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Drop those predictions, hit that subscribe button, and peace out.